Something really terrible happened just a few minutes ago when I was doing this page. It got cut off partway through, and then I decided to just kind of start it up again, and it didn't record the whole thing. So I don't have another one of these papers. So I'm just going to go over this with you, and we'll kind of like do it together, but without me doing any of the writing because I already did all the writing. So the process for doing these proofreading pages is first you're going to find the misspelled words and circle them. That's the first thing you do. And then you double check them and you write them spelled correctly in order. They have to be in order from number 1 to number 12, the last one you find. So it's always a good idea to find them first, find all the misspelled ones. Now, what happened when I did this originally is I missed a word. There was one that I couldn't find. So I had to go back in and double check. Every time I find a word, I'm going to check it off in my word bank over here, right? So as I was reading, I'll use a highlighter and kind of show you the process again. So as I was reading and I saw a misspelled word, I would circle it. Many years ago, Africans were forced to come to the United States as slaves. I always read really slowly and carefully too, because I'm not reading, I'm looking for boo-boos. And I'm going to tell you this, when you do work, sometimes it helps to do your work out loud. Your family won't think you're crazy if you're talking to yourself. I talk to myself all the time when I'm doing work. So watch, I'm going to go through and I'm going to read it out loud because even when I'm grading students' papers, I read them out loud so that I find the mistakes. Many years ago, Africans were forced to come to the United States as slaves. They lived without freedom. So I find freedom right here and I cross it off on my word bank. Many people were against slavery. They at least has two E's, and I know that it doesn't. It's EA. So I find it in my word bank too, and I cross it off. They at least were eager. Eager doesn't have RE. So I look on here in my word bank and I find eager number 18 and it's GER. So that one's wrong. To speed change, speed doesn't have an EA. It has an EE. So I am going to check off speed. It's number 7. And worked hard to free slaves. So I'm done with that paragraph, or so I think I am done. I checked it off. I checked it twice, and I crossed it off once I checked it twice in the last video. Slavery was abolished, but change was slow. When Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a boy, his mother explained that she could no longer pretend. Pretend has a D on it, right? So I'm going to check off pretend. To believe, I know that believe has the word lie in it. So I'm going to check that off. That as a member, this is the one I missed before because I need new glasses. It says member instead of member. So I'm going to check that one off. Of the Atlanta community, she could eat at any restaurant in the city. Now, restaurant's on our challenge list, but it's spelled correctly here, so I'm not circling it. In the city or stroll in the park and enjoy the fresh It's got too many H's. So I'm going to mark that one. Right there, number 5. Fresh air. The reason doesn't end with an en, so I'm looking over here. And you can double check your spelling. Here's reason, it's on. She gave was that some states still had unfair laws that kept, I know that kept ends with a T, not a P, black people and white people separate. Though Dr. King paid a steep, Oh, steep is the second word. It's double E, not EA. Price for working for equality. His contributions would offer a gleam of hope that change would come. Gleam doesn't have double E. I think it has EA. So I'm going to check it, and it does. Okay. Then what you're going to do after you double check that you got all 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you don't have 12, you're going to go back in and look, right? It's like you're rescuing someone that's trapped in a cave. If all the people don't come out of the cave, you don't walk away. You go back in and you rescue the other people that are in the cave, right? You don't leave some people behind. Oh, they'll get out on their own, right? You're going to find, if you don't count 12 or however many they're asking you, you go back in and look again. If you look in the first paragraph and you don't see any, then you can cross it out like I did last time, right? And then I looked in the second paragraph and I found member, right? So then what you're going to do, you're going to write them correctly on the line. This is word number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You go in order from the first one to the last one. If you put them in the wrong order, I mark it wrong, right? So this is teaching you how to like really look through writing and find boo-boos, maybe looking through your own writing and proofreading and finding boo-boos. So this is kind of a life skill. I'm going to advise you that when you do this kind of work, saying it out loud and reading it out loud helps you to hear and see the boo-boos better. Okay, so if you're doing this at home, feel free to do it out loud. When I'm grading kids' journals or kids' paragraphs or kids' papers, I always read them out loud. It helps me find the mistake faster and easier. All right, sorry that I had to record this twice. Sorry that I wrote in all the words twice. Tried to highlight it to kind of help you see the process. And this is the order that the words went in, right? They don't go in the order that this is. Sometimes kids last year would write them in this order on the lines. They go in the order of where you found each boo-boo. As you find it, you put it in that order. Okay? Hopefully you understand how to do that kind of worksheet. It kind of takes a while to look for the mistakes, but it's good practice for finding boo-boos. All right. Thank you. And thank you for listening, I should say, and I will talk to you later.